Hello, it's nice to have you folks back here at Murphy's Welcome to My World. This is episode number 19. This episode is going to be another one of the learning kits from the nice folks at the Woodland Scenics Company. I've done two of their other learning kits, one on road building and one on realistic water. You ought to have a look at those here on YouTube. Now on this particular episode, number 19, we're going to be dealing with the Woodland Scenic Learning Kit on realistic scenery. The other two kits were so much fun that I'm anticipating a good time with this one. So let's look inside the box and see what's there. Alright, let's see what's in the packaging. Well, to start off with, there's a number of different colored packets of turf. And you've got the different colors and the different textures. A nice assortment. They also give you some medium green clump foliage, which is kind of fun. And here's my favorite here. It's a green blend of turf, and it's a number of different colors all mixed together. There's also a handy applicator. Not sure exactly what that's going to be used for yet. And then we also have some earth undercoat, some paint it looks like, to start off with. And probably most importantly, you have a big container of scenic cement for attaching everything. And of course, a handy spray applicator. Not nearly as much stuff as in these other learning kits, so I think this will be a fairly simple construction. I'm looking forward to it. The other ones have been so much fun, I don't see why this one wouldn't also. Well, let's get started on this project, this learning kit on landscaping. I was so excited about this particular kit, I went out and made myself a little base to practice on. You'll see I even put one of my rock molds on here. It's kind of fun. This lighter color that you see, that's the Durham water putty that I use. I always like using this Durham water putty because it gives a nice firm hard base to start. Now they give you this wonderful paint here which you're supposed to thin out. 2 parts water, 1 part paint, and I found it was quite easy to mix together. Went together really well. They give you a little applicator for the paint, but honestly I decided I'm going to go ahead and just use a paintbrush. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on. The instructions were very specific to kind of not put it everywhere, not to make it all consistent. So, of course, in real life, there's no real consistency in any colors anywhere you look. So I'm going to kind of put some here and kind of put some there. Not going to be the same every place. Of course, I don't want any of the blue to show through. I don't mind the brown, but not the blue. Okay, let's kind of just mix it up some. Mix it up, mix it up. That's what I like to see. Mix it up. What do you think? How's that look? Of course, now comes the hard part. Waiting until it dries. Well, here we go. You can see that the paint is all dried now. Kind of an interesting coloration. They want me to start out with this blended green, and they're very specific. You take and you squirt some of this adhesive on. And you see I've got everything all over the place, and of course now I've got adhesive on everything. That's alright. Okay, so I got some adhesive around. They're very specific not to make it consistent, so I'm going to put a bit here and a bit there. Nice color though, I like the color. It's got a number of different colors to it. And this stuff is really, really fine. Really, really fine. So I'm kind of letting it kind of fill in some areas and not fill in others. Let some of the underneath colors come through. What do you think of that? How's that looking? I think that looks pretty good. And you'll see that I have this set up that I have the fine turf on this side and the coarse turf on that side just because I can. That's why. I'm going to let this sit a while, let it set up some, and then we'll move on to the next step. I've let the scenic cement sit for a while. I'm going to put some more on here. My sprayer doesn't seem to be wanting to spray real good. That's alright, I got some on there. What we're doing now is we're just taking and adding some of the other colors. Just lightly adding a bit of color here and a bit of color there. And I've never been known as an artist. I think of myself much more as a technician than an artist. But this is downright fun. I like the idea of being able to be creative. Putting a little of this color and then a little bit of that color. Trying not to get repetitive with anything. And you can see it's starting to take on kind of a life of its own here. The instructions were specific about making sure that you have highlights here and there. Not any one particular heavy-duty bunch. Well, I'm going to let that set up for a while, then we'll put some more color on it. Well, I figured out why my sprayer was not working well. It was operator error, believe it or not. I realized that maybe I didn't shake it up enough, and sure enough, all the adhesive was glommed down on the bottom. I had to shake and shake and shake, and I had to clean it out. And look, it works really good now. How about that? I like it. What I'm doing right now, I've put a number of different colors on, and it's all been the fine turf. Over here in this area, I'm not going to put any more of the rougher turf because that's where a little house is going to go. What I'm putting on right now is medium green coarse turf. This stuff is quite a bit clumpier. You can see that it's got quite a bit of texture to it. And I'm going to put it around edges, not where the house is going to go, but around in other places. Now it looks kind of like it's not going to just stick by itself, so I'm going to take and spray it a little bit more here to get it to stick on. Yeah, not too much, just enough to get it to stick. Yeah, that's looking good now. That's looking good. Of course, you got to give it enough time to dry. Ah, this is looking good. This is looking real good. Moving right along, the last step here with the learning kit is putting some of this clump foliage in. And they called for an adhesive, which I don't have. So I'm going to use good old household white Elmer's glue. And you just put some glue on there. What you want to do is be careful, once again, not having things too consistent. Well, you're getting the idea. Let me put some more on, then I'll show you what it looks like. Now the final step, in the instructions anyway, is to use the yellow, add just a little highlight. And I think the bushes are just a little too green for me, so I'm going to use some of this yellow highlight to offset them a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. Now that's all the bits and pieces that come in this learning kit, but I happen to have some other things on hand. I got some old trees and stuff that I think I'll add just to see what it looks like. Let's give it a try. And here you can see the completed diorama. Came out actually really nice. I added a couple of extra things to it. I put a little gravel on it. Put a few trees in there. Man, it came out really nice. This learning kit has been a joy. Give it a try sometime. I'm sure you'll like it.
Your love kept my heart on fire. want you.
Well, there you have it. This was episode number 19. We did another one of the learning kits from the nice folks at the Woodland Scenic Company. I certainly learned a lot. Hopefully you guys learned a lot also, and I had a whole bunch of fun. You ought to go to the Woodland Scenic Company website, check out their learning kits and also their other products. They got a lot of stuff that'll help you on your layout. Well, come back and visit us here at Murphy's Welcome to My World anytime. Have fun with your trains.